Hi, what's going on, everybody? Hope this video finds you well. Pretty excited about this one. This is a big one. We're going to go into the ground, leg work, and how we can use this to create more functional rotation versus what I've seen out of some recent sessions, both online and in person. So when we look at a lot of us out there, like rotation's a big thing in the golf world, and I think rotation is also something, when we use the word correctly, I think it's an important piece of information. Here's one of the biggest issues that I've seen out of a lot of people that are trying to, let's call it get the hips open, and a lot of times how we're using the ground and how we're moving along it, which is actually causing more problematic issues, such as it could be over the top, early extension, etc. So let's dive right into this. So the biggest thing that I see out of a lot of players, like if we look at this from face on right here, is I'll see the player, they make a really good backswing, and then I'll start to see them almost pivot around this trail hip. And if we watch the foot here from down the line, and we have a relationship between my toe and my heel, what we would see is we'd see the pressure gets onto the toe, so there's a forward movement, which is okay because we could still push away from it, but we see this forward movement, and then we would start to see the heel, spin. So when we pan back from down the line to face on, what you'll see that this does with my pelvis, when I go forward, pressure on my toe, spin, this is where I need to get the hips to, and this actually starts moving pressure backwards. Well, the biggest thing that I would say that I see out of this move for this specific player is what this does to the acting hand path typically. So we get up here, we go forward, spin, pressure's now going backwards. Even though we're rotating, we're seeing this hand path kick out. Club might come down steep, and I think it really causes a lot of low point issues in the players that I've seen. So here's one of the ways that I would actually start to look at it, and I would kind of challenge you, if this is an issue that you struggle with, this would be one of the ways that we could work on it. So understanding pressures in the feet. Okay, we can go forward, we could go backwards, we can go in, we could go towards our heel. So we have movements in regards to that. So the first piece that I would say in regards to the foot is, once I'm up to the top here, I'm okay if I have pressure in the ball of the foot and I'm pushing back to extend, because I think this is a place that we can create stability from. Now, the foot, what I like to see it do is it might work in, but I like to see it working into more of a bank. So you can see when this foot is actually starting to bank right there, that's at least helping assist me continue to get pressure forward. So once I get pressure forward, then I have the ability to finish this off with internal rotation of the hip to get the pelvis all the way forward. So where I would look at this, and how I would challenge a lot of players, if they struggle with pressure going towards the toe and spinning on this trail foot right here, causing the hand path to go out, here's a very simple way of looking at it, very simple way of drilling it if you're that person. So if we look at the femur right here, so let's say I go up to the top, I turn. Well, if we called this a clock right here, this would start at 12 o'clock being straight ahead here from face on. As we make our turn up to the top, we can see the femur's moved here to about 2 o'clock. Now, if we look at the person that toe spins, you can see how quickly that would start moving in towards 9 o'clock. 12, 1, 2, 3, 12, 11, 10, 9. So we can see they go 2, quick spin in towards 9, and we start to get this look where everything is rotating at too high of a rate. So if you're the person that struggles with this, let's take a minute and let's focus on what the femur does and what the knee does from a directional movement standpoint in combination where the foot pressure is. I hope you're enjoying today's video, and if you'd like the way that I explain things and how I break things down, I would love to have you check out my online membership site, Club TS. So inside of this, you're going to have access to unlimited video lessons, group coaching calls that we do weekly, and as well, you're gonna have the ability to ask me questions where I can film content for you customized. We also offer practice plans for players of all abilities. So inside of the link here, that's going to give you access to a free 14-day trial that I would love to have you check out. So thank you for watching. Now back to the video. So if I'm up here and I get into my setup and I go to the top, for me, I'm going to try and keep this femur pointed at 2 o'clock as the pressure starts to move more towards the inside part of my foot. So this pressure is moving more towards the inside part of my foot, but I'm going to try and keep the femur here at 2 o'clock. So pressure is on, is pushing from the ball of the foot. Pressure stays forward, and this femur is going to stay pointed at 2 o'clock. Well, what this horizontal movement is going to do now to the arms, even if I don't change them, this horizontal movement becomes a lowering aspect of it. Now from here, I could start to hit this with more of an internal rotation, and I can get the trail side of my body through. So it's one of the ways that we can help get the golf club to lower, because if I'm just up here spinning, the golf club's probably not lowering unless we're going into a crazy amount of external rotation, reverse bicep curling, etc. That's for another topic though. So very easy way to practice this. I'm going to take my right toe, point it at 2 o'clock. My femur is going to point at 2 o'clock here at setup. I might even drop the right foot back just a hair. And I'm going to go to the top, femur and knee at 2, pressure forward down to the ground, femur and knee at 2, then I work it around. So I'd start off by hitting some little shots like this here. So femur and knee are at 2, work it to the top, keep it at 2. So you can see how I've hit that shot right there, and that golf ball was very straight. Now I didn't finish the shot. All I was doing is creating what my initial feel would be in transition, and then I stopped it to where I was in control of the finish side of my arc to see what the face was doing. Really, really, really good way to practice this if you're the person that goes to the toe and spins trying to get open or rotate more in your motion. So let's do this again one more time. So I'm going to go right femur and right toe at 2 o'clock. I'm going to work it up to the top with pressure on the ball of my foot, and I'm going to keep the knee and the femur pointed at 2 o'clock as I'm getting pressure forward here. Okay, so I'll be in here, work it up. Okay, and same thing. That was a pretty straight golf ball right there. So I think this is a really, really important place for the players, for you guys that struggle with getting far too open with pressure on your trail side. We do need to get pressure forward. I think that's really important. And then we can start to dive into more of how the internal rotation of the hip works, or how we actually push off the trail side directionally. There's a lot of different ways of looking at it, but the first thing we need to do is we need to put ourselves in a position to where we can create that space so that the arms have room to come down on plane, and this right leg isn't getting in our way and taking our hand path out and taking it across ourselves right there. So I'm going to do one more right in here. Right toe, right femur at 2 o'clock. Work it up. Keep the right knee, right toe, femur at 2 o'clock. Working this down to the golf ball. So I'd be here. And that right there was a really good shot that I didn't have to put a lot of effort into. I'd still need to get better at finishing it. We'll do another video to follow that up one of these days. So again, if you're the player that struggles with rotating over that toe and we see that knee kicking in and we have too much pressure back spinning, give that a go. Let me know if you have any questions. Appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed this video here. If you haven't, please click that subscribe button. You can also click the bell right there, and that's going to notify you every time that I release a new YouTube video. Also, if you haven't, check out that last video that I did. It's right here, pinned to the screen. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave those below, and I will make sure I get back to each and every one of you. So, thank you again. Appreciate your support. We'll see you next time.